Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 7th of June. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, this is a very, very important week. This is what we call Countdown Week.
Why is that? Countdown back on Channel 2? Or
No,
it's
it's
the
the 7th of June.
I used to go to Countdown.
It's the 7th of June. I'm sharing this with the viewers. It's Countdown Week.
It's your birthday, isn't it?
Finally, we got there.
Yeah, 6 days away
Viewers,
to go.
Six more shopping days. 6 more shopping days. And I've put a few things aside at the Rolex store.
You've got a registry at David Jones as well.
The Rolex store in Collins Street.
I'm sure there'll be a big rush of viewers to go there.
There's at the Range Rover store in Malvern. I've just put a little new model aside.
You know what? We do this every year, and every year.
So pretentious to talk about
it's not so pretentious, but
Range
your entire youth. You avoided your birthday. Now, as you become into your twilight years, your late senior twilight.
Yeah.
When are you going to get a senior card now? When does that come in?
Know,
what age?
It doesn't
That's
kick in.
Doesn't
kick in, I believe, until you're 65, Gary.
Okay, you're pretty close.
So I'm really looking forward to those discounts on the trams.
Exactly right. So, and then so much did you avoid your birthday that you had your 21st birthday in Melbourne, which I had without you being here. Gee, it was a great party.
I tell you what, both of us were winners. You had a party and I wasn't
exactly
there.
Right. But now, you used to go missing on your birthday. Now you're trying to make up. Now,
bring it on, viewers. Bring it on. The 13th of June. I want some love. I want some love. It's one thing to sit at home watching this show going, oh, these guys are so good, they're so funny.
I don't think people are saying that.
At the same time, they're giving us facts and figures
No,
about
they're
the
not thinking that at all.
This is our go-to show. Well, let's see really how committed you are to GPTV by what happens on the 13th of June.
Oh, it's frightening. Well, you know what? 13 has been the unlucky number for many people going through the years.
On Black Friday.
Exactly right. Yeah. What a dark day that was.
My mother said to the nurse, "Get that thing out of me! Get it out!"
Exactly right.
Get it out.
And when she
like The Exorcist.
Yeah, exactly right. And the nurse was chasing me around the hospital, chucked it in the car.
That's right.
Exactly
right.
Your mother said, "Damn," and nearly escaped in time. But there you go. Anyway, happy birthday in advance.
Thank you. Countdown.
Should we talk about the weekend that was? Hey, we had a thumper of a weekend, didn't we?
So,
wow.
viewers, here's what I don't get. And Gary, let's just deconstruct this. I don't get this, viewers, because there's a lot of negative talk out there in the marketplace.
I don't understand what's going on.
All of the newspapers, everything online, on the news, everywhere you go, there's no shortage of sad sacks saying,
misery
the
guts.
sky is falling down, the world is terrible.
Bad.
Woe is me, woe is me.
So sick
You've
of
got
it,
to have cash, you can't buy assets. Well, Gary, no one told all of the people that were out at our auctions. We had, and I'm just looking down at our clearance rates now, 23 auctions. That is a volume of auctions, and we sold 18 out of 23, Gary, for a 78% clearance.
Not too shabby, eh?
When the industry reported a 60% clearance, but naughty industry, because we know the naughty industry does not disclose all of the sales that they didn't make.
Well, even on that basis alone, Phil, just from 60 to 78, using my mathematical brain, we are 30% ahead of the industry average. So that's, so we've helped to lift it up a little bit, haven't we?
So in reference to last week's show, Gary, TTP.
Yeah, somebody said that to you.
Somebody said that to me on the weekend. They said TTP, Philip, and I said, what's wrong with you? What does TTP mean? They said, GPTV last week, you coined the phrase TTP, trust the process. Trust the process, viewers. Come on board with Gary Peer and Associates, and the process will deliver you the outcome you're looking for.
As it did with so many cases on the weekend, Phil. But look, let's just quickly put those towers up. 78 versus 60, and 60 with a little bit of a minus. 60 minus with a question mark. Let's put that up and celebrate that. Still a strong market. And gee, there were some thumping, beautiful properties that sold on the weekend. I've got to say, and we always say this show's about transparency, I wasn't quite sure we'd get to 78% on the weekend. Got to say, I think we had used a few of those get out of jail cards.
Gary, I just want to, maybe we'll just put up a little bit of vision of last week's sales meeting.
Yes.
You were in full flight, of course, doing what you do, motivating the team. But we do the last item on the agenda for Monday's sales meeting is what properties do we think will sell across the weekend? Well, I've got to tell you, we sold 78%, but in that sales meeting, Gary, I'm not sure we got to 50%.
I thought I lost my hearing, Phil, because it went very, very quiet at that point in time, got to say. But look, we are now in winter. A lot of people say, oh, you can't sell in winter. Winter's not the time. But, gee, we had some thumping sales. Let's talk about some of the sales. Before we do, Phil, a few properties to review. I've got to say I'm a bit of a lover of the single level villa, the single level 1 of 2 villa. We've got 2 interesting ones that are coming up I just want to talk about.
Yes.
One of them is in Winston Drive, a great address, a rear, 1 of 2. That's 2 at 4 Winston Drive. Have a look at the images of this beautiful single level property being handled by Nikki Janover and Maureen Mesereau. What a great property. And
one of only 2.
One of only 2. And we've got the same situation in Foster Avenue, Phil, number 1 at 25 Foster Avenue. Both of these properties have been owned, particularly Foster Avenue, for a very, very, very long time. Not as much for Winston Drive, but they are tightly held. Foster Avenue, Philip, has been held for a long time. The Samuels brothers are handling that. Leo and Aviv, 1 of 2 single level. I love those properties single level, and you can't build them anymore.
The Samuel brothers come to town.
They ride into town, you better look out. You don't want any trouble when they come to town. Phil, a couple of other just quick properties to just talk about. 31 Prentice Street has had a very significant price adjustment, Phil. We're talking now 1-1 to 1-2. Very nice property.
Viewers, is a very delicate expression for reducing the price.
Yeah, I think that's a good buy.
We talk about a price readjustment.
Yeah, there's a few. So I think that's a bit of a snap purchase, that one right there, Phil. Also, you're very excited about a place that you're going to be auctioning, a beautiful home in Corkwell Street, Melbourne.
Gary,
tell us a bit about that.
This is the most magnificent period home, a gorgeous Victorian facade where the owners have essentially rebuilt the entire house, added on a second story, the most incredible floor plan. This is beautiful bedrooms, beautiful bathrooms. The main bedroom cleverly is on the ground floor. But you've got, the house, it looks smallish from the outside, Gary, but as you journey through the house, it opens up. It's one of the bigger homes you'll see in its price point. Also walking distance to the tram in Malvern Road and the Taronga train station. So great location.
Another terrific property, Philip, 62 Lumia Road. I know that's one that you're excited about as well.
Single story heaven there, Gary. That's been in the same family's hands for, I think, over 40 years. Solid brick. It was designed by Sinman Justin Bialik, who are one, when they were called SJB, they're a new name now, but when they were called SJB, were one of Australia's leading architectural firms.
Property addresses don't get much better, or actually any better, than 62 Lumia Road. Now, interestingly enough, I had a funny little meme sent to me.
Funny little meme?
Yeah, funny little meme sent to me saying that under the Albanese government, the Melbourne Football Club is 0 for 2. What's going on there?
Do you know what, Gary?
Is there a connection?
Read into that what you will, and ultimately, you know, this is not a political show,
No,
Gary. We sit on both sides of the political divide.
And people send me all stuff as regards connected to any particular leaning.
I do think that Albanese does need to have a look at, because he's a rugby supporter, right? I think he's the Roosters or something silly. But Mr. Albanese.
Does anyone in Melbourne care about rugby? I don't think anyone in Melbourne.
Not really.
Cares
Not really.
less about rugby,
they play it at the Amy Stadium, but I don't think anybody
No,
goes.
no one goes.
But Albo, something needs to happen, because under your watch, you can't blame the previous Prime Minister.
All the players,
blame
the coach.
Frydenberg. You can't blame anybody.
No.
Under your watch, Melbourne has lost 2 games in a row.
They're only 2 of the year. So you've got to wonder what's going on with their...
And Albo, I'll just add this, it's not it used to be the football club of the elite,
that's why
snobbish people, the Range Rover driving,
snow
skiing,
visiting,
fools. But it's a working class club now.
Exactly right.
Absolutely. I mean, there's still a few of those Range Rover driving
hoi polloi,
skiers. But essentially, it's a working man's club. So get behind it, Albo.
Exactly right. You've been very disappointed in the Melbourne Football Club. Let's talk about some of our auctions on the weekend, because I've got to say, Phil, that there were some incredible auctions, and I started bloody cold though, wasn't it? Bloody cold on Saturday. Really bloody cold. And you know,
that's three square weeks. We had a square jar, Gary.
I know.
You're $150 in now.
I can't afford it anymore. But really was, and I wore my jacket, and a few people said they've never seen me with an overcoat, which very much represented my European father.
I thought you looked a bit scary standing around. I saw you standing at the front door, and there was a group of little kids standing around you, and there you were in that overcoat that's 6 sizes too big for you. I thought maybe you had a kid under that coat, you're smuggling them out of the house. And I mean that's politically correct.
That's talking about overcoats, you know what? I was watching Paddington Bear doing a little routine with the Queen. I've got to say, I stayed up on Sunday night. I couldn't sleep because it was so exciting with the Queen, the celebrations. And I mean, I'm sort of indifferent. I think she's an incredible figurehead. I mean, there's no bigger figurehead of our time than Queen Elizabeth. But I've got to say, Phil, they're all going nuts in London, aren't they, in England? And it's a big celebration. What do you think?
Do you know what?
And I love it at the same time how people are saying, oh, there's a great celebration. This is, I don't know who said this, you'll know probably because you read more of the front pages than I do with the sort of back. Oh, by the way, National Choice is running on Wednesday. It's sale. Could be a chance.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Another one of your crummy stable.
Yeah, not doing so well at the moment. But I've got to say, Phil, that, and now I forgot, well, I'm just having one of those senior moments.
Okay, we were talking about the Queen and how good she's been and how much you love her, but you're not sure whether you're a monarchist or you're a Republican.
It's very sad,
viewers,
happy
70th celebration to Queen Elizabeth. I was listening to...
That's what I was going to say. Back on track. So what happened was, it just took me a while, that somebody here was saying, oh, it's wonderful, the Queen, and she's terrific, and this is what's going to happen when she dies, basically. So how do people celebrate at the same time, sort of predict her demise and start saying, oh, there won't be any more monarchy after that. We'll become a Republican.
Republic. There was some imagery.
No more monarchy.
That's
it. I got it out.
Excuse me.
That was hard.
Post-COVID. There was still that little lingering cough.
Yeah, thanks for that. I really appreciate it.
There was a photo. There was Prince Charles gave a speech.
Yeah. Didn't see Prince Andrew anywhere, by the way.
All I can say is, really... I don't think it was a particularly charismatic speech. No. And he thought he was being funny when he says, Your Majesty, and then he goes, Mummy.
Yes.
Mummy.
Leave the humour to the Queen. Yeah. I think she's got a good sense of humour. I think she's probably got a wicked sense of humour. Yeah, I liked it too. Skit. Yeah, she's terrific. I reckon she's a ripper.
Anyway, there is no question that the monarchy is England's greatest tourist asset. Because, you take that away from England.
Yeah.
What have you got? You've got the coldest, darkest,
miserable, greyest,
dampest country in the world.
That's right. With people that just want to come to Australia so they can come here and get some heat and then whinge about it.
And a bit of a shout out to our English cousins, if we have any. But you're not that bright, are you?
Yeah.
You had the choice. You thought, we've got all of these criminals. Yeah. This is going back into the 1700s. We've got all of these criminals. Let's get rid of them from England. Yeah. Let's just put them on the other side of the world. Yeah. So we'll stay in this damp, cold, miserable place. Yeah. You can all have Bondi Beach.
And how would you have been if you're a criminal? You got to Bondi Beach and you came out with the shackles on. You had to look up and you go, "You little ripper, mate." So call blimey. That's a good punishment.
Mobile phones back then, you'd have all of these criminals from Bondi Beach ringing every single person they knew in England, going, "Steal a loaf of bread,
exactly right.
Do something."
You've
got to see what we're standing on at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting carried away. Phil, I had the pleasure in the bloody cold on Saturday morning selling 21 Brisbane Street, Murrumbeena, for a Melbourne Football Club icon, actually, who I'll talk to you about. But Phil, this was very, very popular, sold for $1,720,000. And of course, the second that we sold it, the buyer walked in and said, "Thank you, I see you every week on GPTV." Well done to that buyer, congratulations, and most delightful. And her daughter had a sign, had a T-shirt saying, "We have everything, you have everything you need," on her T-shirt. And I said, "You have everything you need except this house." And I think it played so well into the auction anyway, you had to be there. Phil, Burke Road.
That could have...
Burke Road, 3 bidders on that apartment, 2 at 42 Burke Road, sold for $792,000. Sutherland Road, Armidale, Phil, that really did pump. And well done to Jeremy Rosen, sold for $700,000.
Daniel Fisher, who ran that campaign,
did a great job.
Great result.
I was at 8 Veronica Street in Bentley East, Phil. We were looking at around 115 to 12, sold for more than that, undisclosed, but popular property, just to know kind of what's hot out there. And Graham Callan, he's a busy man in that Murrumbeena area. How good's Murrumbeena, by the way? Brisbane Street was great. And we're loving Murrumbeena. We're so busy there.
We bought a property in Murrumbeena, Gary.
We have that.
We may announce that at a later stage.
We'll keep that.
That's how much we believe in Murrumbeena.
Keep that one quiet, won't you, Phil? 112 Murrumbeena Road. Well done to Graham Callan, who sold that under intense competition with 3 bidders. 45 Prentice Street, Phil. Now, that was a fun auction and went very well and sold
Shout out
beyond
to
the range.
Owner of that house. So I think, look, we get to deal with some really delightful people.
We do.
And I reckon she was June's nicest vendor.
Exactly right.
Having said that, it was only the first week in June, so
don't get carried away.
Don't get ahead of yourself,
above yourself,
owner of Prentice Street. But
she is a lovely lady.
For the first weekend, we nominate you best vendor of that round.
Exactly. Fair enough.
You get 3 votes.
Yeah, no, she's a lovely lady.
We should introduce
a vendor of the month award.
No, we should.
Like at McDonald's, you've got the employee of the month. We have the vendor of the month. Buyer of the month.
We should have a medal We should have a count. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, well, Sally's team does that. At the end of the year, they look back and say who was our most delightful vendor and who may not have been. Phil, 45 Prentice Street, Elstonwick, did sell very well above its revised range, which is 2.1 to 2.3, so it was above that. Phil, 41 Pentle Road, Caulfield North was your first auction. You had a big Sunday auction, didn't you?
Gary,
You're like an Iron Man.
What's big about 11:30, 12:30, 1:32, 33, 30, 4:30, get home, 5:30, collapse, fall asleep on the couch.
Yes.
Brilliant day.
I fell asleep on the couch too on Sunday because it was cold, Phil.
Yes, cold, Gary.
But
Gary,
anyway,
as you keep saying. Viewers, we had an amazing day on Sunday. Pentle Road was my first auction. That was under the hammer, sold.
1,720, it is disclosed.
Thank you very much.
Imperial Avenue, Phil, while you were there, I was freezing myself at 15 Imperial Avenue. It sold for 1,845, Phil, well over the range. And there were 4 bidders going for that. And interestingly, there was a bidder at that auction, Phil, who made a bid, and then they made one bid, and then Leon went over and goes, "Did you want it?" And they go, "No, we just got so caught up in the excitement of the auction, we decided to make a bid." And Leon said, "Well, what if that would have been the last bid?" And they said, "Well, we would have had to buy
Gary,
it."
it's your charisma. There is no question. With your charisma, you get you draw people in, and they just do. It's almost like they're hypnotised when you're auctioning.
I didn't want to say anything myself, Phil, but now you've said it. The last thing I want to do is argue or shoot you down with your astute observation. Phil, 31 Filbert Street, had some fun with that. 5 bidders there, took that well beyond its range, sold for 1,301, expected to sell in the very low ones.
Yes.
And well done to the buyer there who actually just put that. How often does it happen?
Are you going to go through?
Yeah, I am, because there's no properties to review this week. This is the end of the show almost.
All right. But we'll just drag the show out a bit longer.
Going to. Well, I dragged that auction out, and the buyer was sort of harumphing me. You know how buyers harumph?
Yeah.
You know,
it's an underutilised adjective.
Not enough. Harumph should be in the real estate vernacular. So they were harumphing me, like, come on, get on with it. And this is the thing, you know, touching the watch.
Like you had anywhere to go.
Exactly right,
like nowhere.
Nowhere to go.
Well, you've got friends, not a chance.
Exactly right. So they were, well, that buyer did have friends, but they were harumphing me. Anyway, they put in a bid of 1,000, which was, how often do properties sell for like 801 or 1.502?
Yeah.
So often they just go just over that range. Anyway, well done to the vendor. And look, I've got to go back for a second because Murrumbeena Road...
You do love to talk about your own results.
No, but I'm just excited about something. I'm getting to yours, don't worry. But how about this one in Murrumbeena Road, Phil, was in Brisbane Street. First time offer, did I say, in 97 years?
Well,
97 years, that's a record. 97
I'm
years.
going to look right down the camera now and say to the people that owned that house,
They're Melbourne people, Melbourne Football Club
years,
people, yeah.
Whilst we're grateful for your business and thank you for entrusting us with the sale, have a good, hard, long look at yourself for not selling for night. Do you know, agents, we've got financial commitments.
Exactly
we've got leases on
shiny European cars.
Jets and holiday homes.
We've got business travel.
We like to travel over the Melbourne winter to Europe.
We've got racehorses,
and if everybody
holiday houses.
If everybody sold their house once every 97 years, well, we would not even be going to Dramana for morning tea.
Exactly right. They're very selfish of them to stay there that long. And by the way, 31 Filbert Street, been owned since the 1970s as well, Phil. 50 years.
We'll call this the padded edition.
No, well, we've got to talk about something, don't we? Otherwise, what's the point? Just come on, say good day and leave again. Hey, Phil, 23 Hotham Grove.
Shout out to Jeremy Rosens and his team from our St Kilda office.
Yeah.
What an incredible job. Firstly, thank you to the vendor, who is the most delightful, super intelligent,
and cool guy,
eclectic, enigmatic, eccentric fellow you'll ever meet in your life, and we love him for it. But this house was incredible. Have a quick look at this house up on the screen.
We're in it, Phil. We're in it. You don't need to look at it.
It's absolutely amazing.
Big block of land.
Well done.
It's like a little castle.
1,325 square metres of land, Gary, and we sold it in the range, and the range was. 4 something to 4.7, I think it was.
Something like that, Phil. Something over 4 million. Anyway, well done. 39 Oran Crescent was the end of the day.
Shout out to Jan Goosen, who skillfully got that property to the marketplace, dealt with the vendors right through, and eased the sold sticker up at about 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
If you want a real estate conversation in Mandarin or English or German, you can say hello to...
We've got Jan Goosen, and well done. Gary, let's have a quick chat about that huge auction that we had in Yannicky.
Yes, Phil, that's the last one.
Price
we're going to go.
is undisclosed, but we've probably got some photographs of all of these people.
What was the quote on that, do you remember?
It was 4 6 to
4.9 or something like that. Yeah,
around that high
around the high fours,
early 5s.
Anyway, suffice to say, it was a little bit of a runaway train, sold for significantly more, and not surprisingly, Phil, because it really was a property that it was almost impossible to appraise or to value. A unique home, big block of land, north-facing garden, beautiful pool, magnificently finished, wasn't it, Phil? And you had some fun doing that auction.
I did, Gary, and shout out to the vendors who would also pick up 3 votes in the Brownlow votes for being 2 of the nicest vendors we've had of the round. So shout out to the vendors of Yanaki. Thank you for entrusting us, and congratulations.
And for all those people that attended the auction, glad you enjoyed it, because it was a very exciting and crazy
Well, I
auction.
did give away 5 bottles of whiskey.
What's that all
auction,
about?
Gary.
Yeah,
I know. Anybody would think there's a boom on and that we had money to burn.
Exactly
but I
right.
love giving things away to lovely people.
Well, if it comes from your personal cellar, I've got no problem
No, it doesn't.
with that.
You know, the vendors of
why there is a
Yanaki
problem.
should have a seriously look at their bill when they're looking through the disbursements,
That's
because
right.
we'll bury 5 bottles of whiskey there somewhere.
You know,
I'm sure we'll have, contract inspection or something. We'll come up with a nice 5 bottle of whiskey.
You say that in
disbursement.
jest. Sadly, it is only in jest. But anyway, congratulations to the vendor and the buyers who bought that wonderful home. Phil, that's a big wrap on GPTV. Now, just a little bit for next week. We've got a property that we're reviewing. That is a historic property, Philip, an extraordinary property in Glenferrie Street. Yeah, not Glenferrie Road, but Glenferrie Street in Caulfield North.
Glenferrie Street is the continuum of Glenferrie Road.
So if you're driving a runaway truck and you just kept going across Dandenong Road.
If you were in a cement mixer, because they're probably about the heaviest truck on the road.
And the wheels got stuck?
No, if you're in
if you were in
a concrete truck, and all of those things happen to you, and you were coming from Glenferrie Road, Hawthorne, starting at
Cotham Road.
Cotham Road, right?
Just kept going all the
you
way
get a really good run at this, and you get all the green lights, right, from Cotham Road
all the way
to
through
Dandenong Road.
Just don't stop.
And keep in mind, it's a concrete truck, so it's carrying a load. If you didn't stop, you shot over Dandenong Road.
Just kept going.
Bang, you'd reopen Glenferrie Street at Dandenong Road.
Because it is a dead-end street, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, until that truck came through.
I mean, I think on the day of the auction, Gary, really, if we want to make sure occupational health and safety,
that's right.
we need to get somebody standing at Cotham Road and Glenferrie.
Just put a sign, just controlling traffic.
Warning trucks.
Yeah, I think we should do that. It's become ridiculous. Anyway, we're reviewing that next week on GPTV. We wish you a warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Gary Pearce.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fabulous Queen's Birthday long weekend and much joy and happiness shopping for my birthday on the 13th.
Bye for now.